Inside Track coming to you from Aintree the week before the Randox Grand National. William Hill, the official betting partner of the Grand National. I'm joined by Dickon White, the managing director here. And Dickon, such excitement with just a few days to go until the big race. I'm guessing the preparations just net a start.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we start planning for, the Grand National meeting. It takes 12 months really of planning and looking ahead. We review what went well and obviously things that didn't go so well. So it's it's a 12-month operation. A great teamwork pulls it all together.
What makes working at Aintree different? I mean, you've been involved in racing all around the country for a long time.
Yeah. It's a very, very special place. Just walking into the racecourse, walking into these fantastic facilities, there's just something very special about it. There's so much history, heritage associated with the fantastic race. And yeah, I mean, sometimes, we have to remember what a great privilege it is to work within the industry, but particularly to work at the home of the Randox Grand National.
And of course, the race has evolved over the years, and it's had challenges over the years. We're in Mccoy's, which is the old weighing room, and just all the memorabilia all around the walls. It's so special, gives you a real sense of history. Actually, just over my right shoulder, there's an article from The Guardian, I think it is, in 1981, talking about the end of the Grand National, and that would be it. And now that almost seems inconceivable. It's amazing how the people of Liverpool really put this race back on the map and have taken it to their heart.
Yeah, I think people forget that the Grand National has not always been in the rude health that it is now. And in the late 1970s and the early 80s, there were very few people who actually came to the racecourse to watch, and it was all about one race, the Grand National itself. But now it's a 3-day festival meeting with fantastic racing from the first race on Thursday till the last race on Saturday afternoon. And long may that continue. We're really excited about what goes on here and continue to invest in the facilities and the race program. And we want the best quality horses to be racing here.
And to what extent do you feel responsible not only for the preservation of this great race, but also its place as a centrepiece of the sport? And really one of the only times of the year, perhaps the only time for some people, where they really recognise horse racing.
I mean, we talk as a team about this. We talk about, we're very much custodians, almost passing it on to the next generation. And we've just got to try and nurture it and care for it as best we can and, keep evolving, keep developing it. And that's what's really important for us. But you're right, there's millions of people around the world who we don't watch another horse race, and to be able to watch this race at 5:15 on that Saturday afternoon is really important for us. And just very, very special.
Yeah, we always get told, it's 600 million people around the world can access this race, and your regular viewing figures in this country of up to 10 million. It's quite awe-inspiring. Do you have a favourite moment of your time here?
And I always remember my first Grand National that I was involved here back in 1999 when the Bobby Joe, the Carberry family won the Grand, and it was here. I remember
right there, wasn't it? Where he swung off the rock.
And I was sort of very new into racing. I hadn't worked in horse racing before, and I was a novice, shall we say, and I just couldn't believe the passion that was behind it, and to see the Carberry families celebrating, and as you say, Paul swinging from the rafters. I think a few of us were looking up thinking, oh blimey, I hope he doesn't do that for too long. But it was that was a very, very special time. But every Grand National is special. I think, seeing Rachel Blackmore win it, it was a very, very strange behind closed doors back in 2021. That is another surreal moment for us all. But every year's different, and I think we're extremely excited about this year's event also.
Well, it's great to see you here, and it's great that William Hill, the official betting partner, again, as you said, we've got some wonderful racing across the 3 days. I particularly just want to focus on that first day, because the likelihood of Constitution Hill showing up, plus all those good horses in the bowl, which are running for all day this year.
I mean, when you look at that programme on the Thursday, it's a very special day. As you say, Constitution Hill, he is the talking horse everybody's talking about within the industry. But, maybe this is an opportunity for people outside the industry to sort of really watch this horse in action. So I think the sort of northwest racegoers will all be here in their thousands watching that. But as you say, you talk about the bowl, which, as you say, it celebrates our fantastic relationship that we've got with Alder Hey, the Children's Hospital here in Liverpool. Looks like being a cracker of a race. If all the horses that are talked about turn up, it looks like being one of the races of the season.
A genuine centrepiece of such a charismatic and vibrant city, and really that's what Aintree Racecourse is. Great to be here in Liverpool, Dick, and all the very best for a very successful Grand National Festival.
Thank you very much.
you're lucky enough or talented enough or both to win a Grand National, you become a member of an elite sporting club, and you will have experienced a moment truly to treasure. The two men alongside me have done just that. Barry Geraghty, Monty's Pass 2003, AP Mccoy 2010 on Don't Push It. Barry, first of all, early in your career, really early in your career, you were how old?
23.
And did you really take in the magnitude of it at the time?
I did. I really did. And you know, people say, you know, it flies over your head and whatnot, but no, that it's a moment to savour. I knew it at the time because would I'd have grown up as a child, this is what you wanted. This is what you wanted to win a Grand National. It's what you dream of. So no, I savoured as much as you can. But yeah, special moment.
I mean, there's no such thing as a straightforward Grand National, but from what I can remember, it was completely plain sailing. I mean, there was hardly anything written about you. It was sort of close up, led to out, won easily.
And that was it, yeah. He jumped to the front nearly at the water jump. So the biggest job I had was keeping him out of the race, stopping him getting competitive to save himself for the finish. You know, he was a doubtful stayer possibly. So yeah, I just had to, you know, be cautious with him, and he jumped perfectly. So it was very, very, you dream of winning the Grand National, and you dream of, you know, titanic battles, if you like. But no, this was a breeze.
And all the while after that, you know, you could luxuriate in the fact you'd already won the race, whereas the man sitting to your right was putting himself through the ringer year on year on year. It's fair to say your Grand National story has a lot more intricately written chapters, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably dragged it out a bit longer than I'd hoped, Nick. There was a few times when I thought that I had chances of winning. I thought Blowing Wind, the year of Red Marauder won, it was a little unlucky. You know, he was going really well through the race, and then he finished third, having remounted, and then he was third the following year. Clan Royal got then taken out. Butler's Cabin was going okay when he fell at Beecher's the second time. So there was kind of a few chances. Yeah, I dragged it out.
Maybe even you, notoriously hard on yourself though you were, you'd have to concede that the Grand National is just different, isn't it? It can take you to places where you don't get taken in any other race.
Yeah, it definitely did, Nick. And I always used to, I've said lots of times, I used to come into Aintree in the morning of the Grand National, think, yeah, I'm going to win the Grand National, leave thinking, I'm never going to the Grand National. But you know what? A lot better jockeys than me never won the Grand National, you know. The John Frankums, Peter Scuddamore, John O'Neill, Frank Berry, Charlie Swan, multiple champions in both countries, never won the English Grand National. So I used to think, I'm in good company. And there was maybe lads who maybe weren't as lucky or as successful than any of those that did win it. So it was different than any other race in that sense. And then, you know, say you have those few times you think, oh, that could have been my turn, and then you write a few favourites. And I remember walking at the start of the Grand National, and David Casey lived with me for a time, and he was riding, and I was walking around, looked up at the bet, and he said, have you seen the price of Don't Push It? He said, he's favourite. He said, you're going to have some job explaining how you got beaten another Grand National favourite, aren't you? You know what I mean? Because Nick, he ran over hers at Cheltenham, and he pulled up and he was 50 to 1, I'd say. You know, you could have, you know, a couple of weeks before the Grand National, he wasn't even in the bet, and you couldn't have found him.
But Jockey knew he was gonna.
Yeah, he
lit us something, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, there was a few. JP had 4 winners the race. King's John's Castle, who had been second a couple of years earlier. I think the Complier Die was running in it. A horse called Arbor Supreme of Willie Mullins is that actually kind of was like Anthony Post's favourite after he was second, I think, in that Eber St. Jace. But his chances of getting round were, for me, very, very little. If he couldn't get round, he wasn't going to win. So there was the two of John Joe's Camp by Time, who won a chase on New Year's Day at Cheltenham. Didn't have bundles of class, and Don't Push It, who got beaten in novice chase one day at Cheltenham, December meeting. I told JP he was proper horse. Be very surprised if it didn't got beaten neck by Denman. So I went away wondering. So eventually, and he did actually show a bit of form the year before. He won the handicap chase here at Cheltenham, and then you kind of you come to the Grand National, I think, didn't think no more of it. By the time you're walking down at the start and you realise you're riding a 10 to 1 favourite, you think, oh, maybe he could win. So when it did happen, yeah, a lot of, I mean, for me, I suppose, yeah, there was a lot of fulfilment, but a lot of relief. Do you know what I mean? Because I had been such a failure for so long, it was like, and don't mean this in a sort of an arrogant way, but after, you know, if you've been champion jockey for however many times, you know, maybe even 7 or 8, the kind of people asking, well, you know, if you're meant to be alright, like, and you haven't even got close to winning. So It kind of like, there was a lot of fulfillment, but a lot more relief, I think, from winning the Grand National.
Two very different ways of doing it, but two glorious results at either end of their careers. Barry Geraghty and Sir A.P. Mccoy, both Grand National winners. All right, simple job for us now, and that's to find the winner of this year's Randox Grand National with A.P. Mccoy and Barry Geraghty. A.P. first, you get to pick a winner and one of the bigger prize to run well.
I mean, it's a very good race. Nick, they could give lots of those horses in the top sort of 10 or 15, but I like Longhouse Poet. Thought he ran well last year. He was a little keen. I think he's about 18 or 19 pound better off with Noble Yates. Won last time, trained by a man who knows how to win the Grand National, Martin Brazel. So he would be my fancy to win. And my outsider, I think, is Velvet Elvis, who was second to any second out in Avon last time. He won the tide before that. He's got a good weight, and he's a big price. I think he could run well. He's only a 7-year-old, so he could be open to improvement.
Excellent. Longhouse Poet then for Martin Brazel, and Velvet Elvis for Tom Gibney, who's previously won an Irish National with Lee and the Burnett. Barry, how about you?
I was really impressed with Lemilas when he won the Old Hennessy in Newbury earlier in the season. He was targeted for that race. He was then rested until the Premier Chase in Kelso in February after the weights were released. I would imagine if Harry Skelton was to do it again, he might just delay his challenge a little bit. But I think he might have learned a little bit on that day for the Grand National. Jumps really well, obviously stays well. He's versatile on ground, so I think for me, he'd be my choice.
You're going to drill it into Harry Skelton to delay his challenge, as we talked about, round the elbow where he's there, hold, sit, wait.
I think Harry will need a little bit of work in that department, but I'm sure they're aware of it, because he got a little bit excited in Kelso to kick on when he did. But yeah, definitely one with a big chance, I think. And outsider, I thought Mr. Coffey's run well at the last two Cheltenham festivals. Ridden prominently in the National Chase this year. Disappointed in the Topham last season, but he's tried the fence at least. But he was a little bit disappointing. But there was only a 3-week turnaround last year. Well, there's a 4-week turnaround this year. Plus, he's an 8-year-old versus a 7-year-old. So I think Mr. Coffey could run a big race for his price.
Faith in your old governor knows no bounds. Nicky Havas has never won the Grand National. Closest he got was, I think, in his first season training, wasn't it?
Two seconds.
Survived in the Zarovich.
That was it, yeah.
But yeah, you think that Mr. Coffey could run a big race?
I think he could outrun his odds.
All right. Well, he's by the same sire as Tiger Roll, so that gives us some hope. I think Capodanno might be the one for JP.
Hope you're right, Nick. Lightly raced, got a good profile. Yeah. He's got a big chance.
Grey Wall winner at Punchestown last year. Only has to give Jesse Harrington's horse £2 and thumped him last year at Punchestown. So he's the one for me. And if some of those ones down the bottom get in, and just a crazy one at a huge price, currently 100, I think 125 to 1. Fortescue is fourth in the Beecher Chase, needs every yard of the trip and probably more, but not completely impossible, at £5 lower than last year when he was quite well fancied. So those are our ideas of some Grand National winners and horses who might run well. Don't forget that it is now non-runner money back. So any of those crazy ideas, if you think they're not going to run, back them anyway, you get your money back. AP Barry, thanks so much. Roll on the Randox Grand National.